Thank you so much for watching Smart 24 TV and for staying tuned. And this is The Point. My name is Anthony and I am your host. Smart 24 TV is a channel that will give you business content 24 hours, 7 days a week. And of course, we bring discussions that matter to business on your television and get to discuss with the experts in the field and of course get these conversations out of the boardroom to your sitting room where you're watching us from. Remember to follow us on Twitter, that is at Smart24TV, and my personal handle is at Anthony Sebale. Today, the talk is on standards and quality and what these have to do with our economy if we are to progress and grow as a country. And I'm talking to the Executive Director of the Uganda National Bureau of Standards, Mr. Livingstone Ebiru. Now, sir, there has been concern over the quality mark or the distinctive mark that shows standards. And over the last couple of years, there have been people who have actually succeeded in forging this mark and gone ahead to put their products on the market. What innovations in this line have been put in place to ensure this doesn't happen?
Thank you, Anthony. One of the areas we are encouraging our consumers or those who are buying local products, locally manufactured products should do is to look for a UNBS quality mark, a Q mark on the products made in Uganda. Of course, that is in view and acknowledging that our quality culture is embedded, as I've mentioned. We expect that anybody who is involved in manufacturing, production, and trade of these products should actually ensure that they are genuinely certified by Uganda National Bureau of Standards, and therefore the Q mark, the quality mark affixed in those products are really authentic. But again, just like society, we find that there are characters who still do not want to comply with that legal requirement, and they go ahead and actually forge some of these marks and put on their products. Of course, we've been trying to make sure that we give available information to the public to be able to actually authenticate whether this product is, that quality mark is genuine and whether that product is sincerely certified by UNBS. One of it is by making sure that we publish the list of all certified companies with their products on our website. But of course, we also take note that the culture of people looking for information is still very low. That somebody will not have time to actually check on UNBS website, look for that company or the purported manufacturer and look for that product, whether it's actually authentic. So as a result, we are deploying technology. As I've told you, UNBS is championing the digitization of most of these processes, and that will include digitizing the Q mark. So what we are going to do in the next coming months is to start piloting specific products to be able to make sure that on top of that quality mark, Q mark being printed on the label of that product, we are going to also target with an electronically verifiable trace and track technology. So as a consumer or as a buyer, you will be able to use your smartphone and just scan that code. It will just pop for you all the data of that product, giving you the permit name, the validity, the manufacturer, and which standard, if actually it's certified, it's been certified against. So we believe that by empowering now the buyer at the gate to actually demand that this Q mark is authentic, we'll make sure that there will be no room or space for those who will think they'll forge. And because they are forged, somebody will rely on seeing by eye that this is a Q mark by UNBS. So apart from maintaining our publication of all certified products on our website, we now want to make sure that all UNBS certified products are also tagged by electronically tracking system so that you as a consumer can actually be able to revalidate whether that Q mark is authentic. So if it is not, then we'll be requiring information back to us where you bought that product and who was selling it, and we hold them to account. But even under the current mechanism, forgery of UNBS quality mark is an offense, and we can prosecute you and penalize you for that. Again, we have a dedicated court, which is called Wildlife Utilities and Standards Court. It's a level of the High Court based in Buganda Road. So anybody who does not comply with the standards, we have an option to actually prosecute them and penalize them. But as a promoter of trade and business, we have been giving opportunity for voluntary compliance. That is our first call. We want everybody involved in business, trade, manufacturing, processing to actually appreciate that. It's very important for them to observe quality standards in what they do so that they avoid us going to that extreme, the option we have.
Yeah. Absolutely. And when you talk about that counterfeit, no, I don't want to call it counterfeit, but the substandard products on the market, they usually take that route. What could be some of the legal implications on businesses and individuals if caught? Because perhaps this could be one of the ways, if people out there knew the cost of, for example, having substandard goods on the market and forging, for example, the UNBS quality mark, probably this could have come to an end.
Yeah. First of all, I think those who have at least crossed our path in the wrong way, it's unfortunate, have known how it is costly to actually deal in substandard products. Those include both the importers into this country, but also those who are locally manufacturing these products. Once we import this product and it has not been inspected from the country of origin against our standard as it is required, and you run out of your luck, we get it at the border, entry point, or anywhere on our market. The first action is for us to seize those products and make sure that we arrest you to explain why you did not comply. We'll go ahead, apart from prosecuting you in courts of law with penalties, we will destroy those products. Because if they are not conforming to our standard, we will not allow them on the market. They'll be destroyed at your cost. So how many people can afford that capital? You have spent all the money, possibly borrowed money from the bank, to import all these products all the way from China, India, Europe. You paid all the freight, all the costs up to the border. And UNBS gets it and destroys it at your cost again. So that's quite huge. And I wouldn't expect any sensible business person to actually go and pursue that high risk. If you are a local manufacturer, one of our actions is, first of all, to suspend your production. We'll seal your facility, meaning that you will not be allowed to operate. The implication, those who are employed are going to be exposed. You are going to be exposed also on capital, because if you can, as a manufacturer, if you have borrowed money for production and you cannot produce, you are going to pay interest when you're actually not selling. So it is quite a high cost. And of course, as we promote, until you take corrective action that you have addressed the root cause of that non-conforming products, then we cannot allow you to operate. So there are quite punitive sanctions, and some of our people have actually gone through that. And that's why our message is, please avoid going in that direction. It is more cheaper to comply with standard than actually to try to avoid it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, for of course, the businesses that would want to conform, probably they haven't been able to conform for some time, but they would want to conform. If you could take us through what some of the requirements are, because one of the things that keeps people away from, for example, getting the Q mark is that they think it's very hectic. They think the procedure is very costly, like you mentioned in the first place. But could you take us through some of the modalities that people actually, and the myths people usually have of having standards conforming to what the UNBS has?
Yeah, I think what the Bureau had acknowledged in the past is lack of information for people to appreciate the need to comply with standards. So we've since worked on that by making sure that we automate all the processes, provide as many, as much information as possible on our website for each of the processes we undertake, whether it is imports, whether it is certification of local products, whether it is a testing requirements. So all that information is available. But for really the local manufacturer, somebody who is involved in value addition, processing, and manufacturing of a product within, the simplest and the first thing is to register. Actually, declare yourself, come out, and declare yourself that, you see, I'm involved in this business, I'm located here, this is a sample of my product, I would want to what? You to help me to what? To get certified. So the simple thing of getting out to be known by UNBS actually saves you a lot. Because then when we get your product, we first confirm, has this man ever come out to declare himself? So you are a bit safer than somebody we have actually not what? We have not known. So start by coming to UNBS, register with us, your business, and we will guide you on what you need to do to be able to get a quality mark, of which requires that to protect your business and your brand. Remember, you talked the issue of counterfeit. To protect your brand and product, you need to register it. Register your brand and register your business name with Uganda Registration Services Bureau. So as a bureau, that is the only way we can protect you against those who will purport to produce the same product, by making sure that when you register with us, we only know one person owning that product and brand. So we are protecting you. So we will require you to register as you begin to apply for certification, to register your product name and business. And it will give you who are the directors, where are they located, and so forth. The other one, as part of the registration, will require to acquire the tax identification number. Remember, as a government entity, we also want to work with people who comply with other agencies as regulators, work closely with Uganda Registration Services Bureau, with Uganda Revenue Authority. So one of our requirement of documentation is, please acquire a TIN number for URA. Is not because you will pay tax. Actually, you'll get more advantages as a business from registering with the tax body, because there are a lot of incentives, as you are aware, but people do not actually appreciate it. Registering with URA does not mean URA will come and demand tax. They can actually give you a long holiday, because taxes are based on your businesses, turnover, and so on. And we know that this comes after time, but there will be incentives which we give. Like I've told you, as a standards body, we can give you subsidies, we'll recommend you for funding by partners, and so on. So those are the opportunities you get by voluntarily actually coming up. So once you can be able to have this documentation, then we can be able to now be able to put you into our process. We can be able to come and inspect your facility, test your product against the standard, safety, quality, to make sure that it's okay. And after that, we'll be able to give you a Q mark. But it's very important that you come out first time when you start to be involved in value addition or production. It saves you a lot than UNBS coming to get you on the market, and we don't know you, it will be more punitive.
Absolutely. Yeah. Doctor, when you talk about the Q mark, right now, currently, you mentioned that we are talking about the regional integration in as far as standards are concerned. How far can the Q mark of the Uganda National Bureau of Standards take your products in as far as borders are concerned?
The importance of our quality mark is that it is an assessment and certification against market standards, international standards. And again, as I've told you, UNBS is a member of the global standardization community, meaning that what we do is compliant with other international standards bodies. But most importantly is that we are required to demonstrate competence and efficiency in assessment of our products. And that's why our laboratories must be accredited internationally to be able to, for the results of our analysis of this product safety, to be relied on globally. So we have our food safety laboratories that are international accredited, meaning that a certification, Q mark, being part of the product assessment, including testing, once we give you that, it already gives you assurance of the product safety and quality. But again, as we have discussed earlier, that there are other market requirements that may go beyond standards. I think you've been hearing about what they call technical barriers to trade, non-tariff barriers, and so on, that on top of the product actually being safe and meeting the quality for any market, there are certain market specifications which go now beyond the what? Beyond the standard. And we are saying that when we get opportunity to export our products, the Bureau would want the exporters to tell us if there is any other requirements beyond the quality and the safety of the product, so that we also know what are those other specifications beyond the quality standard that a particular market wants, and we should be able to guide accordingly.
Absolutely. The products we've talked about, the sectors we've talked about, for example, the engineering, we've talked about different others, food and agriculture. But oil and gas, like you've mentioned somewhere, that we are going into the oil and gas business as a country. But you also have a laboratory recognition scheme in which you have recognized specific laboratories to handle specific products. And now when it comes to the oil and gas, where are we going to come? Are we still going to come here at the head office for our products? Because when you talk about oil and gas, you're not talking about petroleum and diesel alone. Absolutely. There are so many, a ton of products that come with it.
Yeah. Again, as I told you that we've done our part in collaboration with Ministry of Energy and the Petroleum Authority of Uganda to make sure we prepare adequately for that production phase, that we should not be caught unawares because there is a standard missing along the value chain. So we have already done that, but that's not enough. We have also said that how does a Ugandan benefit from participation in that sector? So we have also said that all related businesses that actually feed into the oil and gas value chain should have also the standard, so that if there is opportunity to supply the oil and gas value chain, our people are also able to comply. So we have done that very well. But now on the issue of guaranteeing the quality of our products, oil, extracted, refined, processed in Uganda, again, these standards are international available. We have them. So we are now, as the investment in the production phase goes on, we are also investing in laboratory equipment to be able to make sure that we test all the products beyond the white product, the refined products of petrol, diesel, paraffin, to oils, engines, and other byproducts. So we are already working on that. For the refined products, we are doing very well because we have a petroleum laboratory, which we are jointly operating with Ministry of Energy. So there is no problem on the refined products. We are now investing ahead the scope beyond that. So we believe that immediately the oil starts, we'll have all the infrastructure ready to make sure that the quality of our products are guaranteed for compliance with the international standards.
Thank you. What are some of the challenges? I know an institution, as much as we have a lot of professionalism, we have a lot of integrity, but there should be something that probably is lacking and probably would want to put to the notice of the public. What are some of those challenges as an institution that you're currently still facing?
We have, I would say that we have two main challenges. One, which is the institutional capacity challenges. As I've told you, that the Bureau still needs to expand its quality infrastructure in terms of the staff numbers, in terms of laboratory infrastructure. We ought to set up laboratories also in each of the border points. We have not yet gone there because the laboratories at the borders will be able to help us quickly assess the quality of products coming in and going out. So we are looking forward to investing in that area, and we need enough resources. Of course, issues of the overall budget for operations to make sure we are out there every day to pursue our mandate remains a challenge. Just like any other government, we demand and we pursuing lobbying for increased budget for operations to make sure that we effectively implement on our much needed mandate, which scope you have seen. But then we have the other challenge on the public side. One is the issue of the consuming public to appreciate that they deserve a consumption and value for money from every product they buy in. So we still see this mentality of looking for options, cheaper options. This is very expensive, so can I have a cheaper option? We are saying, please, cheaper things are always very costly. You can't guarantee their safety, you can't guarantee their quality, especially if they are not certified by UNBS. And we have been encouraging our consumers, please pay something extra, pay a little more for a safe and quality product. It will be less costly in terms of your health. It will be less costly in terms of performance. Why should you buy a cheaper product which you will buy many times compared to slightly a price product which can last longer? So we are trying to pursue the public to demand for quality products, but also encourage them to be prepared to pay slightly more for a safer and quality products. It goes hand in hand. Quality is not cheap, but the benefits are massive in terms of guaranteeing your health and safety, in terms of guaranteeing you access to the markets, especially for the business community. So that is on the part of the consumers. On the part of the business community, the manufacturers, the processors, is again the same, the culture. Our message to them that, please, can you begin to think that what is good to you is what is good to the public? We see some of these people thinking that because they are not going to consume these products or use them, they would rather compromise their safety and quality and put it on the market because somebody else will be the ones who will be exposed to this. They ignore that it may be their relatives, it may be their children, and so on. And we are saying that that culture within the manufacturing, producers and business people trading in these products must change, that they must be the first guardians of quality and safe product. They must make sure that these products meet the minimum standards. They are certified by UNBS before they can put it in the market or trade it. And again, this message, we continue to get it out to the public. We are getting this, for example, we are going back to school this week, next week. We are sending a message to the providers, the operators, and parents that please, as our children go to school, please make sure that you provide for them safe and quality products in terms of food supplies, in terms of scholastic materials, in terms of other products that these people use in school. So it's very critical that, again, the culture of quality is what will build the economy. The culture of quality is what will make the country competitive. And once we can be able to embed that quality culture as consumers, as producers and manufacturers, then we shall have a Uganda which is competitive, whose products will be trusted by other countries, that made in Uganda is truly made in Uganda because the culture and the processes have been complied with, and that's what our dream is.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Livingstone, for that wonderful insight. Now, as we wind up with, of course, a few remarks from you concerning where you see Uganda's productive industry, manufacturing industry in the next 5 years, as well as the Uganda National Bureau of Standards in the next 5 years, because we haven't talked about so many sectors like the pharmaceutical sector, so many other things that are growing and cropping up in the economy of Uganda. Where do you see it in the next 5 years?
To me, really, my projection of the competitiveness of our products in the medium to long term is that we want to see the volume of exports of products made in Uganda exceeding the volume of imports. And we have already put in all the framework required to realize that vision. So already we have a number of our companies exporting to the region, even exporting to international markets. So we want to make sure that we support them to stay in there and double their outputs and volumes to be able to export to this market and dominate the markets. We also want them to be champions to other sectors, to be able to look at that opportunity, that once you are consistent, once you build the trust of international markets, then the opportunities opens up. So we want to see that happening, and as you know, we have already made the first steps. Government has negotiated a number of international markets. The next step is our presence, the presence of our products on that market. And I see that in the next medium to long term, we must focus on having presence of made in Ugandan products in these global markets so that our country can truly achieve the objective of benefiting from this much needed foreign exchange to come and reinvest, create jobs, multiply the tax base. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. David Livingstone Ebiru, for your time.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We've been talking to the Executive Director of the Uganda National Bureau of Standards. You heard him right, and of course, for the manufacturers out there, quality is important for us to be a more productive country and increase our exports and reduce on our imports. And as well for the consumers, you must be very careful on the products you're consuming. Ensure that that quality mark is authentic. New technology is coming up, of course, where we're going to be able to scan and get to know whether or not a product is authentic, and that's going to be one of the things that are expected from you as a consumer to be able to check. My name is Anthony, and I have been your host. Remember, The Point happens every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and remember to catch us then. And of course, till next time, bye for now.